Sup, diggers? Sam Battlefields here. No, I'm not reacting to my own reaction from a few, how long ago was it? 12th of June. It's nearly 2 years ago. 9 days ago, my good fan, Shaun Young, he requested that I do Spanian Melvin Manhoef, or Manhoef. And I did the reaction 8 days ago. Shaun, just to let you know, I haven't forgotten about you, mate. But I forgot to hit go on the microphone, and so therefore I got fucking nothing from it. So I'm doing it again, and thank you for the request. I'll reply to your comment, but I'll give you a nice little like right there. All right, let's jump in here now. Just a quick bit of background about Spanian. I came across Spanian a long while ago, kind of before he really sort of made a bit of a name for himself. Got to Friendly Geordies and the Eye Catch Killers podcasts, and doing his own podcast and all that kind of thing. I actually came across him I can't remember. I really should have done some research, and I've had 8 days to do it. But there was a documentary on him when he's basically walking through King's Cross and Woolloomooloo, and he basically backhands some cunt in the street who was arcing up. Now, look, that could have been staged. I'm not saying it is. It's pretty funny though that the guy acted all hardcore and then Spanian smacked the shit out of him. He's an interesting cat, Spanian. If you get the chance, if you haven't seen anything to do with him, you can see down in the bottom here. This is how you spell his name. Spanian has spent most of his life in prison. Most of his adult life in prison, and I imagine some of his juvenile life. He's grown up in Woolloomooloo and the inner suburbs. It's pretty funny actually, because I've lived in around certain areas. I'm not saying I grew up around those areas, so it's not like I had the same experiences, not by any stretch. But I have been. I have been in places like Woolloomooloo after dark, King's Cross after dark, when, in the turn of the 2000s, like back when it was, it was a scary place to be, especially certain neighbourhoods, certain places in those suburbs after dark. I lived in Surrey Hills down the Redfern end for a good year and a bit, and that was just by myself. I, worked in the city. I found that area quite interesting. There was always something on the go. I'm not saying that I was fucking active in those areas. I definitely didn't hoodoo anybody or anything like that. But as I said, like I know the areas. I've got some pretty hardcore stories of my own from those areas that I won't go into, but not on this anyway. But I get where he comes from. I get he's a definite lad. He's got a whole heap of really sort of interesting takes on a lot of things, because he came up doing this like crazy lad shit. And I've got a lot of respect for the guy, because he's not in that, he doesn't want to be in that life now, but it's kind of, there's a great prof saying where I saw a man struggle with a big wild dog on a leash, and I'm both. And I feel that with Spanging, he's got like a fucking aggro in him, but he's trying not to let it out, and he's trying to make a better way for himself these days, which is cool. And as I said, he's an absolute lad. Love listening to his stories. One thing I do know about Spanian's rapping, so I have heard a shitload of Spanian's rapping. As I said, I'm a big fan of some of his stuff. I didn't say that, but he's an intelligent cat. He's street smarts, but a lot of intelligence in that mind of his, and a lot of lyrical intelligence as well. I do know that he has spoken. I don't know if it's about this song, but he has spoken about how he doesn't want to do that drillers, that gangster shit anymore. And I could be paraphrasing, or I could be completely fucking wrong. All right, but I have heard him. I'm sure I've heard an interview where he said, "Look, I don't fucking. I want to do more conscious rap." I don't know if he's actually used those words, but his inspiration. Yes, you've got, I believe it's like MF Doom, and I can't remember that. I know his main one is Crazy Bone, which, shout out to Crazy Bone. He was also my favorite rapper growing up. His harmonies, his, triplets and all that kind of stuff were just phenomenal. And, I can see that's why Spanian likes him. But yeah, as I said, I understand that, that Spanian likes now, or wants to move away from "look at how hard I am," which is fair enough. If you're Spanian, you don't need to tell people how hard you are, do you? I mean, if you're actually hard, you don't need to tell people just how hard you are. And if you're just telling your stories, then the stories speak for themselves, right? So, anyway.
Have a glad these dumbass lad. Everyone thinks they can snap right now. Everyone's a snapper right. Yo, Chai, but I kick back, make a few anger wishes, and you're all talking our buzzies. You want our buzzies, lad?
So, this language that he's got, I don't know if that was the language. It's definitely, it's not something that I've really heard, but, we used to do modified Alibi and modified fucking Pig Latin and all that kind of stuff. Like the cops haven't picked up on it, but he speaks about a particular language that's only in the inner city, that he reckons 10 to 20 people are the only people that know what the language is. So it'd be interesting to get a translation of some of that stuff. He could have been speaking normal then.
Let me turn it up a few notches on a dumbass.
Welcome to the street barbarian. I am all war, I am Aryan.
I am all war, I am Aryan. Yeah, okay.
Quick, these weapons are various. Take a pic, your death is hilarious. It ain't shit, I step in your area. Run around like a pit bull terrier. Fuck around, it ain't shit, I will bury ya. You a big fish in aquariums, I ain't...
Yeah, see, again, like I said it in my previous video that was microphone deaf, or toned down. The way he's saying this stuff, you can tell he wants to be more intellectual with his rhymes. He wants to delve deep into things that he's saying, but he knows that this is all bluff and bluster. I could be wrong, Spanian. You don't try and take me out for it, but the way I see it is he's actually wanting to do much more with his lyrics than just say, look at how sick I am, look at how tough I am. He's got an interesting viewpoint. So Melvin Manhoef is an MMA fighter, and Spanian reckons he did a whole heap of MMA training, And I really liked his definition of his mindset when he was MMA training, which was really cool. Like if you have a listen to a couple of interviews that he's done where he talks about his mindset, which was, I'm going in and I am the best fighter in the world. I wouldn't want that at my gym. I wouldn't want people coming in with that attitude at my gym. I'd send them on to a much more fighter friendly gym, I suppose, with that mindset where it's like killer, killer, killer. But you know, he had what I thought was a smart sort of mentality going into you know, the MMA game, which would be, if I'm going to be here, I'm going to go and murder people. Like, I'm going to murder people in the cage, and I'm going to be I am the best. Not I'm going to be, but I am the best. Anyway, back to the song. Sorry for the
King shit, I am Darius, son of man in the age of Aquarius. Gun in hand, I will clean up the barriers.
Are we in the age of Aquarius still? I was always under the impression that we've left it, but maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, king shit like Darius.
No sanitarium, where I'm raised, yeah, that's a barrier. Mind state, infectious bacteria.
That's a barrier? Barrier? Again.
DNA from the falls of Siberia, the illuminated sea of Bavaria. Click the hammer, let the blame off. Get your hands up, I let these hands off. You wanna stand up? No, it's a stand off. I take your head off. I'm Melvin Manhoef.
Like, he wears Asics. Asics was always like a soccer brand to me. Yeah, it's interesting, just a completely different, it's literally 40 minutes down the road and a completely and utterly different fashion culture.
Click the hammer, let the blame off. Get your hands up, I let these hands off. You wanna stand up, no, it's a standoff. I take your head off, I'm Melvin Manhoef. Dumb fucker want beat, so I crept on it. Put a clip on the hip with a tech on it. 2 a.m. at the door with a death warrant. He woke up sore arms like he slept on it. Then went straight back to sleep, I just kept popping. And I know poor, that's a dead prophet. You don't know war, time to get honest. You were all talk, internet comments.
And that's technically what I'm doing, so I hope he doesn't fucking rock up with a fucking clip on his... come on, bro. You're a convicted felon. You're not walking around with any kind of clip on your belt, especially not for some internet comments. You're smarter than that. But I think this is one of the reasons why he said about the whole, I don't want to do this drilling rap type gangster shit anymore. Look, and this is again my opinion, but that's why if I was him, I wouldn't need to do that. I'd want to delve into more, and I've heard his other stuff. It's got that dark undertone. I used to love doing that kind of shit. I used to love the playing with the lyrics. That's what it was all about. You know what I mean? But yeah, he's like, there's a reason why you don't want to act like you're going to come round to every cunt's house who's talking shit on the internet, because fucking everyone talks shit on the internet. That's just how it goes. You're on the internet. Fucking deal. You know what I mean? But he's pretty smart with it. He said, I don't want to fucking do that, and I'm not going to. But I'm not sure if it was about this particular song, because this song was like, it's definitely him being, hey, I'm a hard cunt. You can't step to me, because I'll fucking kill you.
Not a need rap, it's not an issue. I got my hand in the dirt like a kid do. I got a beam on the top of a pistol. I'll put the dart on your head like a Hindu. And you may hear the sound when the gap bursts. You won't see the round like you flat earthers. You ain't been around.
I did like that. You won't... No, hang on. What is it? You won't see me round like you flat earthers.
Beat around like you flat earthers. You ain't been around because you that nervous. I ain't a rap version of backpack murder. Click the...
I missed that again, so...
Because you that nervous. I ain't a rap version of backpack murder. Click the hammer. Let the blame off. Get your hand...
On the VAT version of the backpack murders. I mean, I don't know what that VAT, but I'd like to know what that is.
Hands up, I let these hands off. You wanna stand up? No, it's a standoff. I take your head off. I'm Melvin Manhoef. I click the hammer, let the blam off. Get your hands up, I let these hands off. You wanna stand up? No, it's a standoff. I take your head off. I'm Melvin Manhoef.
I don't know who this cat is. But yeah, Nike, that's where that's where it was. Yeah, it's funny that I said before about the dog on a leash. It's kind of, it's kind of what he said in this about the pit bull and. So I definitely wouldn't be putting a fucking collar on and letting someone else hold it. It just doesn't look right. Sorry, Spanian. That's just not on my list of things to do. Aaron Bull. Anyway, so Shaun Young, thank you for the request. This is Sam Battlefields. This was a longer one. Thanks for hanging out. Much love. Peace.